Welcome back to Sophie and Sebastian, a podcast of stories about two naughty yet lovable little children. In this story, Sebastian doesn't want to eat his supper, but Sophie may be able to help him out. This story is called Oodles of Noodles. Most nights, Sebastian did not want to eat his supper. He warmed up to his food only when his food had cooled down. Mum and Dad said it was a phase. Sophie said that Sebastian was a bad boy. Sebastian said, "Bad guys don't eat, bad guys only shoot." Then he shot everyone and ran away. So Dad had to get Sebastian's booster seat and buckle him in. But Sebastian was a very stubborn boy. "I don't like noodles," he said. "Look," said Mum, "you've had this before, and you liked it then." "I hate it," said Sebastian. "No," said Dad, "you ate it." Sebastian pushed his plate away, nearly spilling his milk in the process. "At least try a bite," said Dad. He picked out a noodle or two with his fork. "Open up," he said. "Let's pretend it's a train. Here it comes. Choo-choo! Open the tunnel." But the tunnel stayed shut. Then Dad tried a rescue helicopter, a boat, and a horse-drawn carriage on a cobblestone road. But no matter the sound, or the great many people in danger of being eaten, Sebastian would not budge. Finally, Dad said, "I guess you won't have any ice cream for dessert then." Then Dad went back to his own food, but Sebastian simply said, "I don't like noodles." Sophie could see that Dad's head might explode, so she said, "I'll eat his ice cream if he doesn't want it." The older kids did not think that was fair. Tessa and Lucas argued about who deserved the most ice cream, until Mum silenced everyone by saying that no one would get any dessert until Sebastian ate his food. Then they all tried to get Sebastian to eat. Tessa tickled his tummy, Lucas made funny faces, and Dad dangled the fork in front of Sebastian's mouth. After much prodding, Sebastian was forced to open his mouth, but he right away spat out the noodles. "Yucky," he said. "You are lucky," said Dad, "that we are ever so patient, because you, young man, are the most rebellious, ridiculous, rapscallious young rascal in the world, and we still love you, but," continued Lucas, "Dad would like to invent some kind of torture machine that could make you eat." "Exactly," said Dad. Then all the talk turned to cool things people should invent. Sophie said they should make a dinner plate with a little trap door where disgusting food could disappear. Tessa said that they should make a straw that could be attached to a boy's belly button so that the food could enter the stomach directly. "Great idea," shouted Dad. "Then the boy would just have to suck it up." "That is so lame, Dad," said Lucas. "Plus, I have a better idea. Why don't you just put on a movie? Then he won't even notice that he's eating. Maybe something like Star Wars." As the conversation got louder and louder, everybody forgot that Sebastian was still not eating his supper. Soon dinner was over, and Mum told everyone to go and play. Everyone but Sophie, who had to clear the table, and Sebastian, who had to stay in his seat until he smartened up. Sophie brought a few plates and cups to the kitchen. "You better eat," she told Sebastian. "Otherwise, nobody gets any ice cream." Sebastian pouted his lips and crossed his arms. "Why do you have to be so stubborn?" said Sophie. "Noodles are yummy." "Yucky," said Sebastian. I'll show you, said Sophie, and she took a bite from Sebastian's plate. See? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'll help you. Sophie steered a forkful of noodles towards Sebastian's mouth, but he wouldn't bite. I'll sing you a song, said Sophie. She thought for a while, and then she sang. Hokey doodles, can you see? I see poodles in a tree. 15 poodles way up high, eating noodles in the sky. Hokey doodles, why oh why do those poodles even try? Don't you worry, little squirt, they just hurry for dessert. Now the noodles are all done and the poodles can have fun. All those poodles way up high, they eat ice cream in the sky. Sophie stopped. She was rather pleased with her song. Unfortunately, Sebastian was still pouting, so Sophie had to eat the bite herself. Just then, Mum came by and asked Sophie how things were going. They're going, said Sophie. Sophie brought away some forks and knives. Then she went back to helping Sebastian. Let's play a game, she said. Let's see who can be the first to eat this bite. Everybody thinks you are super fast, but I don't think so. Sophie passed the fork in front of Sebastian's mouth. Sebastian was tempted to take a bite. Here comes Bob the Builder in his workerman truck, said Sophie. Who is going to eat him first? The fork slowed down. Can you do it? Said Sophie. No, you can't. Sophie put the fork in her own mouth. Yucky, said Sebastian. Yum, said Sophie. Bob the Builder is delicious. But now that Bob the Builder had been gobbled up, Sophie had to try something new. If you don't eat, she said, you'll never grow up to be big and strong like Dad. She took another bite. Then she stood on her tippy toes. Just look how much you can grow from one bite, she said. Sebastian looked at his plate, which was nearly empty. Sophie came back down to earth. I'll tell you a story, she said. Once there was a giant named Sophie the Glofy. Sophie the Glofy liked to eat little boys. Watch out, shouted everyone. Here comes Sophie. Sebastian wasn't scared, but he was curious if the giant in the story would eat anything. Sophie continued. One day, the giant's tummy was rumbling. Then a little boy said, Hey, have you tried noodles? You mean the ones from the pool? Asked the giant. Yes, those, said the boy. They taste just like my arms and legs. Oh, said the giant, let me compare. First, the giant took a few bites of noodles. Then the giant opened up her mouth and was about to bite into the boy's arm. Sophie, stop, yelled Sebastian, for Sophie had been showing him what the giant was doing in the story. At that moment, Mum came by. Sophie, what are you doing? She said. You haven't even finished clearing the table. Then she looked at Sebastian's plate. It was empty. Mum was impressed. Good boy, she said. Now we can have ice cream. Though as for you, Sophie, you'll have to wait till you've cleared the table. Sebastian smiled a great big smile. He was grinning like a cat. Sophie only said, You better watch out, Sebastian, because I still have lots of room left in my tummy. Then she winked in a cunning sort of way and quickly finished clearing the table. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed the story, why not send us a note? We definitely appreciate your feedback. Hope you'll tune in next time. Bye for now.